Welcome to footballgameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Emory Hunt, sitting here with the man, Tyler Merkovich, and this is the 2009 Dallas Cowboys team preview. Now, Tyler, big D, big question. They lost T.O. How does Wade Phillips turn that team around and get them to win their first playoff game in about 10-plus years?
Well, the heat is on in Big D. They lose 3 of their last 4, including that blowout loss to play their way out of the playoffs. Jerry Jones' eyes lit up when Mike Shanahan became available. And talking about hot seats, it's Wade Phillips, it's Jason Garrett, and it's Tony Romo. So this is going to be a very interesting year. It's either going to blow up or come together for Dallas.
Speaking of Tony Romo in that quarterback position, how's he going to do this year with no T.O.?
Interesting question. You know, Jason Witten, he loves to go to. Miles Austin's up and coming. Roy Williams, they expect a lot out of. I think they're going to need to become more of a running team. You know, I think Romo will be all right with Owens. They're not going to have the big playmaking ability. Owens is not going to take away from other guys. I think he was a lot better for the receivers. So his stats may decline, but his ability will stay the same.
Well, who's going to take over for? Who's going to try to fill Owens' spot in that wide receiver? Who's going to be the playmaker this year?
Well, they expect Roy Williams to, but they better get contributions out of Pat Creighton, who he's obviously aging. Miles Austin, Jason Witten, of course, he needs to step up. Martellus Bennett, I don't know what's the good of having 2 great tight ends, but maybe Bennett can spell him because he's a great receiver also. So they're going to have to find ways to get the. I don't think it's that as explosive, but they can get the job done.
Somebody like Martellus Bennett can help out that big offensive line that they have down in Dallas, which is one of their strengths. So what you think about that offensive line this year?
This is where I think they might fall apart. You know, early in the year, wow, Dallas's line is unbelievable till they tailed off their left side of the line. Cozier got injured. Flozell Adams started giving up sacks. Right side of the line, very solid. Leonard Davis, after moving from O-tackle in Arizona, moving to guard in Dallas, and Mark Colombo. Those guys are maulers, and they're huge. So they need to open up the run game for Marion Barber, who, of course, is the banger. And then we got Felix Jones, who got injured. He was spectacular last year. He's the game breaker. They could use him in a lot of ways, catching out of the backfield. They're going to want to use him a lot. And Tashard Choice, another rookie, broke out last year. He's the get-her-done back.
I like Tashard Choice, liked him at Georgia Tech. Defensive-wise, Dallas staple, Wade Phillips is a former defensive coordinator. He has some tools, he has some weapons on that defense, some pieces to that puzzle. How does that defense look to improve this year in Dallas?
This is a pretty solid group. D-line, Jay Ratliff, one of the best nose tackles. And then DN, they go Marcus Spears. And they picked up Igor Olshansky. You know, Tank Johnson's gone. He really didn't fit in that 3-4 too much. Chris Canty's out. I think Olshansky is a decent pickup for them.
I like Olshansky. He was a big player out there in San Diego. Linebacker, Brady James. I remember one time former coach Bill Parcells says he was soft as Kleenex, but he has, strengthened up, become a tough guy, and a rock in the middle of the defense. So what about the other linebackers?
Well, Kevin Burnett out to San Diego, Zach Thomas to Kansas City. In comes Keith Brooking from Atlanta, and this is going to open the door for Anthony Spencer, because Greg Ellis is gone too, so he's going to have to get in there and contribute. As you mentioned, Brady James, Keith Brooking will play the inside, and Bobby Carpenter also, he needs to step up. So Carpenter and Spencer, they really need to step up on the outside. And of course, one of the best in the game you don't need to worry about. That's why I'm not talking about him. DeMarcus Ware, the best outside linebacker in the National Football League.
Secondary was a question mark last year. They tried to experiment with Pac-Man Jones or Adam Jones. How does the secondary revamp this year with new pieces to the puzzle?
Well, Newman, he's going to, of course, he's number one. He's been a mainstay. Adam Jones was a disappointment. He's gone. But Mike Jenkins and Orlando Scandrick, 2 second-year guys, are going to compete to start alongside. The loser will play nickel. And, these corners need to step up when it comes to the... I like the Gerald Sensabaugh. I like him from Jacksonville. He's going to step in for Roy Williams, so they won't miss Roy too much. So I think their secondary will be okay.
I like Mike Jenkins out of South Florida. I think he's one of the best corners coming out that draft class. I look for him to have a big year as well. Special teams, with the health of Felix Jones, those return units are going to be dynamite this year. What do you think about the return units this year in Dallas?
Well, they need him back because they were 30th in punt return average at 6.4 and 21st in kick returns. So Felix Jones back. They're going to need to put this guy on the field as much as possible. You know, wide receiver set, but special teams use him a lot. Nick Folk, he could hit field goals. Very underrated kicker. Matt McBriar, good punter. I think their special teams will improve as long as Felix Jones stays healthy. Miles Austin showed some promise there, but he needs to step up as a receiver. Just keep Jones healthy. Special teams, will be good.
New stadium in Big D, new outlook, some new pieces to the puzzle. What do you see the Cowboys finishing this year?
I think it's going to be too much pressure. Jerry Jones, he sees a big name out there like Shanahan. I think they're going to compete with the Giants for the second spot, but I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Tough NFC East right there. Too much pressure on these guys. Offensive line will be their downfall as they're aging. They needed to, upgrade a little more, but they're not going to get the job done. Third place in the NFC East for Dallas.
So tough division this year to compete in. Well, there you have it. That was the Dallas Cowboys team preview. To view more NFL team previews, visit our website, footballgameplan.com/NFL.